Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of GIS Side by Side. We're continuing our look. This is video number 3 on QGIS 3.4 and ArcMap 10.7, and we're looking at them side by side. Today we're going to do probably the most used function of any GIS on the planet. We are going to select features from one layer with selected features of another layer. An example of this is kind of like what I have here up on the screen. Okay, if you remember, QGIS is right here on the left, ArcMap is on the right. Here I have a parcel layer. These are ownership properties in a certain location, and there is a floodplain that passes through that location. Okay, there is a 100-year flood zone, and there's some 500-year flood zone, and then anything white is not in the flood zone. All right, so as an example, a local planning board or something, they might need to have available a list of ownership parcels that are in the 100-year flood zone. They don't care what's out, and they don't care what's in the 500-year zone. They want to know who's in the 100-year flood zone. Okay, what properties fall in that area. That is an example, like I said, of probably one of the most common uses of GIS. That planning board would make a request to the local GIS department or whoever does that function, and they would say, get me a list of all the properties in the county or whatever that fall in the 100-year flood zone. All right, so how does QGIS do it? And how does ArcMap do it? All right, let's start with QGIS. So I got floodplain right here. You got it symbolized. They're pretty much both symbolized the same way. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to select the 100-year flood zone, which is here the A and the AE. So I need to select those features. So I'm going to come up here to select features by value. QGIS brings up this nice fill in the form. All right, I like this format, I really do. You don't have to, you'll see what ArcMap does, but I like this format. All right, but I can only do one selection at a time. I'll show you. I have 2 zones that I'm looking for. So I come over here to flood zone and I search for the first one, and we're going to say equals to, and then I'm going to select the features. And yes, it selects the features. They show up in yellow. But I also noticed that I didn't get any of the other zone. I didn't get the AEs. All right, so what I need to do is I come back to my form and I put in AE, make sure that says equal to, but down here on the bottom of the form I add to my current selection. All right, so now we have the 100-year flood zones selected. Now the next step is to come over here to the parcels, and I want to select all the parcels that touch, intersect, or within whatever the yellow area, right? That is called select by location. In QGIS, we come up here to the vector, come down to research tools, and select by location. All right, so we're going to select the features from the parcel layer that intersect the flood zone. So I come over here and I pick flood zone, my floodplain, but I only want those features in the floodplain that are selected. So I check mark the selected only and run. Okay, they're all all selected now. Close that out. Now, all these yellow parcels are only the parcels that are affected by the flood zone. I want that as a separate feature class. All right. So I right click on my parcel layer that has them selected, and I come down here to export, and I save selected features as, and we are going to save it as an ESRI shapefile. Make sure I'm in a good directory, and we're going to call that FLDPAR for flood par. And then we're going to hit save, and then I'm going to accept all the defaults in this menu here, click OK, and now over here in my table of contents I now have a layer that are only those parcels that are affected by the 100-year flood zone. If I right click the FLD par, I can open up the attribute table and see all the properties that are affected. And I got maybe mailing addresses, parcel identification numbers, assessed values, all that kind of stuff. And I can use that to give to that planning board who needed that information. All right. So QGIS did a fine job doing it. All right. Now let's go to ArcMap. Same scenario. First thing I have to do is I have to select those flood zones. All right, so I got my flood zone layer highlighted, and I come up to selection, and I select by attributes. All right, here ArcMap brings me up an SQL menu, Structured Query Language menu. It's really powerful for accessing data in a relational database. All right, that's the search, that's the language that you type your search statements in. All right, so here's the full statement right here where it says select asterisk from floodplain where. All right, so we are going to select the flood zone where the flood zone is equal to A, or now here I'm building my expression. What I like about ArcMap is I can do one single statement for multiple features. Okay, so here I'm selecting my A zones, or I'm selecting my AE zones all in one shot. Okay, I don't have to do add to current selected, and I hit OK, and you look over here and in the map area, and all my 100-year flood zones are highlighted. Now we want to select the parcels that are affected by it. In ArcMap, all you need to do is you go up to the selection menu and you select by location. Just like there was a select location in QGIS. But ArcMaps, they know that people use this most of the time, so they put it right there in your face. You don't have to go hunt for it. Okay, so select by location. We are going to select the features from the parcels, and our source layer is the floodplain, and we only want those features that we currently have selected in the floodplain. And then I hit OK. Then we have all of our parcels selected, and then I right click on the parcels, and I come down here to selection, and I come right over here to create layer from selected features, and then bam, it's right there. I don't have to name the file, I don't have to do anything. It creates this temporary file that you can make permanent, but it's basically the exact same thing. So I can open up the attribute table, and I got the same data that I can provide to that planning board who needed the data. All right, so that was a quick look at QGIS and ArcMap, QGIS 3.4, ArcMap 10.7, doing the exact same function, the most used function of GIS on the planet. This is the most used application of GIS. All right, so I hope you like it. Next time we'll take another look at these two industry leaders, and we'll go from there. Hey, thanks for coming. We'll see you later.